Hey everybody, it's Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser, and this week I'm going to talk all about selling a boat. Don't worry, we're not selling our beloved back here, but rather our power boat. I'm going to talk a little bit about our experience and how we went about going about listing it and selling it and kind of making the whole experience pretty pain-free and I think a really good one.
All right, so it's Tuesday at about 4 o'clock, and I'm hoping to just get this done real quick before it gets dark and before it rains, because it looks like it might. I've got about 20 miles or so to go down the harbor to a little marina called the Burnt Store Marina. Nice marina. We actually looked at storing a boat here when we didn't know if we were going to buy a home or create liveaboards in this area. So anyway, yeah, I'm about to gun it here. I'm almost out of the channel, and I'll see you down at Burnt Store. I'll show you what the slip's going to be like. We're just going to do it for about a month before we put this boat, I think, up for sale. We're not going to use it as much now that the big boat's here, so I know we like it. It's fun to be able to just go out in, but kind of a costly item to not use frequently enough. So, all right, keep my eye on the water, and get on. See ya down there.
I was able to stay dry for that trip down to the marina. As you saw, I was kind of hammered down and it certainly looked ominous out there. It did start to drizzle just a little bit, but it wasn't a whole lot. Just tucking down behind the windshield allowed me to stay out of any of the rain. The wind was blowing it over. I did get a little bit of spray up on the boat though, just because it was getting choppy out there a little bit. So yeah, it's about a 25 to 35 minute ride from where we are here at our house down to a marina. And I took it to a marina, one, because our big girl is here and we didn't have room for it anymore. But the other thing is, if you're going to put your boat up for sale, you want it in a place where people can come look at it easily and freely. And I thought having it at a marina where people could step on and off very easily, you didn't have to maybe go up and down the ladder depending on the tide here, just made it a lot easier. So yes, it cost a little bit more, but I wanted it in a slip, in a marina, where I felt perfectly comfortable meeting people and just saying, hey, it's in slip number, ABC, come on out and meet me. So what I'm going to show you is I came back a couple of days later after putting the boat in the marina, and I took a bunch of photographs of it, and I put together a little video. Think about it, when you're looking to buy something, you want to really make sure that you have a good viewpoint of what it looks like, the good and the bad. So I took pictures of almost everything on the boat, from far away and a close-up. And then I decided to go ahead and do a video too. So I did kind of an entire video walkthrough showing everything working, opening and closing, motor starting, the whole bit. I'll show you what that video looked like just as a point of reference. And I'm going to blur out our phone numbers on it because the purpose of this is not to sell the boat to you via the YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, kind of spoiler alert, we have sold it already. We had a contract on it, and I'll show you kind of how that process went as well. But the idea here really is to talk a little bit about some of the tips and tricks for selling a boat.
We have for sale here a 2004 Chaparral Sinesta 274. She's 27 feet long with a 2-foot swim platform that's integrated onto the back for easy boarding in and out of the water. It has a single 270 horsepower inboard-outboard engine with dual counter-rotating props to avoid prop walk. As you board on the swim platform from the back, you're going to stand on the back here and look forward. You can see just how much room and how clean this boat is. Just 2 years ago, all of the cushions were replaced, new vinyl, and they look wonderful. They've maintained their good condition because last year there was a brand new cover that you saw in the very first part of this film that was done. That cover is both over the back with 2 extending poles to make sure no water goes in, as well as over the front part of the bow. From the steering helm, you can see there's power steering and a full set of gauges along with a Garmin chart plotter and integrated depth sounder. Additionally, you have the boat's built-in depth sounder and a full complement of gauges. As you step forward on the passenger side, there is a small integrated head, which you won't find on many boats this size. It's a camping style porta potty to make it easy to unload and empty, and also running water and sink, along with an opening port. Have complete privacy and a dry area to store items as well. Behind this we have the passenger or co-captain's chair, and you can see there's this fold down section that allows you to sit like a normal chair below the windshield, or fold it up to see over the windshield a little easier and a more comfortable position. There's plenty of integrated seating with a table and cup holders behind that. Again, from the steering helm, as you look back, the same thing on this seat, and by the way, both of these seats move forward and backward and swivel, and then you have a very small integrated sink area just behind the driver's seat. And again, the curved seating easily sits 6 people behind the captain and co-captain's chairs. You'll notice as you go just behind the captain's chair at this small galley sink. Let me kind of show you what this looks like. And again, there is also a 15-gallon fresh water tank with pressure water, so you can turn on water and go ahead and wash your hands or fix a drink or whatever you want to do. We have storage up top for a couple of individual items, and then you have a deep well storage to the right that is also accessible from this locking door right on the front. You'll notice the integrated car cigarette lighters or charging sockets in a couple of various places, one right here in the galley. Again, looking backwards, you can see there's a small section of the seat I have removed, but that cushion is just in one of the storage areas. You can see just how much room there is, along with speakers back here connected up to the stereo as well. As you go forward through the windshield, the open bow is very similar. Again, easy seating for 6 or 7 people up front, and you notice that you can pull out the cushion in case you want to step forward onto the forward swim platform, and if you want to deboard off the side of the boat, you also have this cushion you can remove and a small door you can open up and latch. I typically leave this cushion out of place while we're boarding and then pop it right down in there for comfortable seating for anybody that's riding up in the bow, along with the speakers here. As you move forward, you can remove these cushions, and there's several small areas for either coolers or integrated bait storage. This is a small one up front. There's 2 more built into the rear swim platform. Again, we are on the foredeck, and as you open this up, you'll notice there's an integrated boarding ladder both at the bow and at the stern, which is really handy to have. Forgive me, this needs a little bit of a wash down, but you'll notice the anchor stores right in there as well, and then this latches. As you turn around and you go back toward the aft of the boat again, you'll notice the size and just how comfortable and spacious the overall boat is, and there's a full bimini that goes from the windshield all the way to the back swim platform. Speaking of the back swim platform, I'm standing right up on the bench seat, stepping aft onto the actual swim platform and then the integrated swim platform on the back. You'll notice again small storage on both the port and starboard side. Needs a little bit of a clean out, as I mentioned, and also a boarding ladder from this aft swim platform as well. You'll notice it folds right down and closes up. The nice thing is with freshwater pressure, you also have not only the galley sink, but you have washdown pumps both on the foredeck and the aft deck. So you can see here I'm just using this to go ahead and rinse out some of the debris and dirt and whatnot that had kind of gathered up around that swim platform there. Having the pressure water where you board the boat after a nice swim is so handy. Just rinse things right off, rinse your body off, and then it's just a matter of popping this little hose right back in its storage case as soon as you're done. This boat also has plenty of storage. As we move from the aft of the boat forward, just between the 2 chairs, you'll notice here there's an opening in the floor. This is a large opening. It's about 2 feet deep, and that hatch is a good 3 feet forward to backward, with another 2 to 2.5 feet underneath. I store fishing poles, boat hooks, lines, fenders, and everything else without an issue here. There's also a lot of storage under the seat. So this is the aft left or port side. Take this off, you can see there's a place to store the little table. You can store the bimini down here and a bunch of other items if you were to desire to do so. As you move forward, just in front of the actual helm steering seat, there's a small door. Great place for dry storing items that you take on board. We take bags or towels or whatever. Keep tools in here, flare kits, whatever you need. And there's also lighting in each of these compartments, which is really handy as well. So moving forward of that, again on the port side, but they're similar on the starboard side as well. This is under the bow front seat, and you'll see again, it's large and there's a lot of storage under there. You can keep quite a bit of items dry in there. So as you go to the aft of the boat, you open this up, you expose the engine, and this is absolutely one of the cleanest engine rooms and engine you will find on any boat of this age. Low hours with only 2,900 hours for a 2004, and again, the boat is just unbelievably clean. You can see the gauges, it comes with a Garmin chart plotter, and I'll show you here as I get this thing started up. I can assure you this is definitely going to be one of the cleanest motors you will find on any boat of this age. It is a Volvo Penta 5.7 GIE. It's about 270 horsepower. Still has all of the stickers right on the top of it. And again, as you take a look at this, not only in the video, but certainly if you come look at the boat, you will notice just how clean not only the engine is, but the entire engine compartment as well. There's dual batteries on board, one for the engine, one for the house bank, with a 1-2 both switch. You can see the batteries there. The switch is just forward of those. Additionally, on the port side, there is the freshwater tank and the freshwater pump you can see there, and all the way in the back is the hydraulic pump for the outdrive. If you have an interest in this boat, by all means, I would encourage you to get in touch with us. This is a clean boat. It's been well maintained. It's served us well. However, we have decided that we would focus a little bit more on sailing in our sailboat as opposed to using the powerboat. This is a wonderful boat, super for families. Would work well on a lift, well on a trailer, and it's a great, great boat.
In anticipation of getting a lot of questions after putting the listings up, I wanted to create a place where I had all the reference material I would need if somebody asked me questions about the boat. I don't have it all memorized, right? The exact horsepower, the model number of the motor, the model number of the outdrive. So I created this website, I'll show you in just a second, on all of the information about this boat. You can do these for free. It was a really easy thing to do, and it gave me a place to direct people that had questions about specifications, or frankly something that I could go reference when somebody said, you know, hey, what is the model of that particular outdrive, or you know, exactly how many hours were on the odometer. I can pop right over to that site, look at the photograph of the hours meter on the on the tack, and see that kind of information. Let me show you what that looks like.
Intended to list the boat on several websites that let you do boat listings and the Facebook Marketplace. Many of those sites will let you put a photo or two, and then you have to pay an additional fee for putting more photos on it. Everybody wants to see as many photos as possible when they're buying something, especially something of this dollar figure. So, great tip I got from Sailing with the Litzenbergers podcast. Brina wrote an article in Good Old Boat and also did a podcast on how to sell your own boat. And this is one of the tips she had. So to create a quick website. So that's exactly what I did. I created a website. It talked a little bit about the boat, the type it is, and a quick blurb about the actual details of the boat and the price right up front. I then created a specifications page so somebody can look at all of the details about the boat, the number of hours, the hull identification number, the price, all of the accommodations that it has, and also some of the manufacturer's deck layout photos so they can see exactly what that looks like as well. Knowing that photos are certainly important, I put quite a few photos of the boat here from a lot of different angles so people could click on any of these and zoom into them. And then knowing nothing shows like a video, I went ahead and created the video you just saw, the quick walkthrough, and also the a close-up of the motor. One of the things that attracted us to this boat when we bought it is just how clean the whole motor bay was in the motor and how well it ran. So I wanted to make sure we showed that as well. This turned out to be really, really helpful, and what I ended up doing was creating some text replacements on my mobile phone. So when I would get a notification from Facebook Marketplace that somebody inquired about the boat, you know, they'd be asking, is it available? What's the price? What's the details of the engine, etc. I could usually tell that those folks maybe haven't yet been able to look at the site. So I had a quick shortcut on my phone. If I just typed in boat 1, it would replace that text with, thank you, the boat is still available. Were you able to get to the website? I know some people weren't able to in the link in the ad, but here is a direct link to the site that includes all the specifications and photos. I would always answer any specific questions they had in text because I wanted it to feel very personal and know that I was being ultra responsive. And then as it got a little further along and I started getting, a contract pending, I even had a text replacement that would say, there's a contract pending in place. I expect it to be finalized by this date pending sea trial. And if you're still interested after that, I'll be happy to share that it's still available at that time. So this website really allowed us to, be pretty efficient in the way we were selling the boat.
With the website created, it was now time to put the listings out there, and there's just a ton of places you can put them, from Boat Trader to Craigslist to, every newspaper and local marina typically has an online classified. But I chose to just use Facebook Marketplace, and I started there to see what kind of inquiries I would get. The nice thing about Facebook Marketplace is you can pick your geographical area that you want to advertise it. You put your listing up, you can put multiple photos, description, whatever it is you want. I had a fairly short description along with a link to the website for more information and more photos. I think I had 4 or 5 good photos right there on the actual ad with a reference back to the others along with that video walkthrough you just saw. The nice thing about Facebook Marketplace is you can actually pay to boost your ad. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's not a lot of money. You pick and choose how much you want to spend. We chose to spend $3 a day for 7 days. That was it. So it cost us 21 bucks. But what that does is it will automatically put your ad along with the title, the price, and photos in your in the certain demographics Facebook feed. So if they're looking on Facebook Marketplace for a boat, they're absolutely going to see it, right? It's going to be in the listing. But also, if they're just happening to scrolling through and they're looking at the news feed from all their friends, they're also going to see our ad pop through. And specifically, when you boost the ad, it only goes to people that are over 18 years old in your geographic area where your listing is. So I can't compare it to not doing this, but I think it worked. I mean, we had anywhere from 5 to 8 inquiries per day where people would reach out to us, and at least half of those were serious inquiries, right? Where people would ask if they could see it, when can they arrange it. I had a couple of the wacky ones that everybody gets, hey, would you consider owner financing it? Would you trade it for a van? Like all kinds of nutty ones, right? But, you quickly answer no on those and you move on. I think it worked really, really well. And in the end, probably about the 6th or 7th person that reached out to me is the one that put a deposit down, and we arranged for a sea trial and a survey. So, I think it works. I think it's a great way to do it. And look, at the end of the day, everybody's on Facebook anymore, so it's an automatic, fast, and broad reach.
Well, I think I mentioned our small power boat we put up for sale, and we got an offer on. The guy came out to do a sea trial and inspection, had a surveyor come out. When he pulled out of the water, I had a lot of barnacle growth on the outdrive. So I want to make sure this thing's in great shape for him. So I've got it over here at this little boat yard. They're going to actually pull the outdrive off. They cleaned all the barnacles off. They're going to pull the outdrive off, make sure there's no growth inside. But while it's here, I decided to make it look good. It's right there behind me up on the stand. I've got a guy doing a complete wash and wax on it. So he'll buff out the hulls, get it bright and shiny as well. So I think that's the right thing to do. Anyway, I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I got a couple of little bit of footage of before. I get a little bit of footage of after.
So here's the video underneath of the hull, and you can see it's in really good shape. And again, we would have it cleaned every so often in the water, and the guy that does it does a good job of scraping it, so no issue there. You can see it looks really nice. But the outdrive back here is where there's quite a bit of growth, and you can kind of see on this side where he's not started to clean it yet versus the other side where he's already started scraping it and cleaning it, and it looked really, really good. This is only him 20 or 30 minutes into the work. While I was here, I started just looking at the hull itself, and it really needed a bit of a wax job. It looks okay from this angle, but as you get a little bit closer, and I'll zoom in here in a second, you can see it's a little bit faded and oxidized. I for weeks would say, oh, I gotta wax that, and then the idea of getting down in the dinghy and doing it in the water just wasn't all that appealing. So I decided to have him go ahead and do this as well, so buff and wax it. So a few hours later, I came back to see this, and I was completely shocked at just how good this looked. He did a great job, and you can even see on the other side here, the sun's a little bit glaring on it, but man, did it ever make a difference. So he did the hull, still working on that, and he'd already cleaned out all of the outdrive here as well. What we wanted to make sure of, and I also had the Marina Service Department check this, was that there was no growth that got into the motor. So nothing went into this exhaust ports or this water inlets or outlets. Everything was good there. So yeah, as we left, he was just wrapping up, and man, this is going to look good, and I'm excited for the new owner. Get a nice, good, clean and wax job on it when they get the boat.
Met the person that had put the deposit down on the boat. We went out there while it was up on the lift at the marina, so they could see it on the outside before it was going back in the water. We finalized all the contract, got payment, turned over the title, and you know, in the end, we sold the boat. And I think it's going to be a great boat for him and his family. He wants to do the same thing we did. He wants to take his grandkids up and down the canal, and him and his wife, you know, go out and beach on a sandbar out here. And I think it's just going to be perfect for that kind of thing. It's exactly what we did with it. We loved it. If we had room to keep it right here and on a lift, we would have kept it. Turns out they only live a few miles away, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm sure we'll see them out on the water. But it was great to meet them, and I think it's going to be a good boat for them. Well, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video about some tips and tricks on how to sell your boat. And we will see you next week back aboard Dream Chaser, where we do some work on the sun cover, we get some cleaning done on it, and we prep this particular area to get it dredged, because I am tired of it looking like a shipwreck out here every time it's low tide. Safe sailing, y'all. Bye now. Hey, don't forget, if we've earned it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like this video. Bye, y'all.